Welcome back. Another episode underway. It's late June, and this is my final June on the Range episode for 2026. And we're going to talk about Louis L'Amour. And previously on this channel, I talked about the fact that books are a nurturing thing for all of us, and we covet them and we collect them for that reason. I also have an episode out there where I talk about the fact that I'm a caretaker of the things that I collect. I'm a caretaker of the books that I collect, and I'm a caretaker of this property. And being a caretaker is a good thing. I wish more people would take that viewpoint. In any event, to close out June on the Range for 2026, we're talking about Louis L'Amour. I've only picked two books early in his career and late in his career that I think represent the greatness of his genre writing as a prose stylist. First up is Silver Canyon, right here. This is the first edition. Silver Canyon. I have multiple paperback copies of this. 1956, first edition. This is one of the great ones. I have my notes here because I'm anticipating an interruption. So this is about Matt Brennan, who it's a typical plot. There's nothing outstanding in the plot in this book. It's a stranger rides into town, except the difference is that it's first-person narrative, and he's not a semi-literate character. He's a literate character who speaks well. He's telling his story, and when I first read this book decades and decades ago, I didn't like him, but it changes very quickly because very early in the book, he falls in love with Moira McLaren, and he gets involved in a range war. He inherits a property, so he's in between all the problems, and really a standard motif, a standard trope for Westerns, but the distinction is that Louis L'Amour engages the characters. You will find yourself engaged with the characters. It's a really nice first-person narrative as far as the quality of the writing, which is a part of the characterization that L'Amour created. He could do that better than anyone. It's a book I am really quite fond of. I'm obviously up here, up north, and I don't have any of the paperbacks to show you. So I do have kind of a scan of this Silver Canyon that I'll put out there. I love this old school cover on this book, by the way. Really a nice book. So if you go to the Louis L'Amour website, and you can individually drive down to a little blurbs about each book and the different editions, you can see them. So if you're a collector, that's a valuable resource, so you can see the different editions, the different covers on the different editions. So I'm a fan of a lot of his earlier work, and Silver Canyon, along with Guns of the Timberlands and numerous others, come to mind that really are books that I go to. I've read this book multiple times. I'm sure I'm going to read it again. Again, it's nothing extraordinary for a Western, for a piece of genre fiction, but it's the quality of the characterization and the quality of the writing that L'Amour really is great at. Among the best. You know, he's one of three Western writers that, there's a gnat flying around, three Western writers that I collect. Zane Grey, William McLeod Rain, and Louis L'Amour is number one. He's always going to be the greatest writer of genre Westerns ever. I mean, there's no one better than him. Just my opinion. Zane Grey, William McLeod Rain, and this guy, Louis L'Amour. All right, so I picked Silver Canyon because it's an early book, and I like those. So, excuse me. And I've also chosen one of his later books, 1986, Last of the Breed. This is the first edition hardcover of Last of the Breed, and this is one of his last books, and it's a masterpiece. We use the word masterpiece a lot when we're reviewing books, when we're reviewing movies and all of that. It is an overused word, just as the word classic is overused, but Last of the Breed is a stunning book. Now here's the difference. It's not a Western. It is for the period, early 80s. It is a contemporary thriller with Western motifs, Western elements found in it. This is a book about Major Joe Mack, U.S. pilot who was shot down in the Bering Strait, and he escapes the Russian camp into the Siberian wilderness using his Native American skills, the heritage of the legacy of the Native American ability to survive in the wilderness. And he does this, and that's what the book is about. It's incredible. As the Soviets track him down. Just an incredible piece of writing. Last of the Breed is a book I read like Silver Canyon. Right, so these two right here, these are two books, two of Louis L'Amour's books that I've read multiple times. I will read again. I just reread Silver Canyon this summer. I'll probably read Last of the Breed in the fall. It's go-to. You know, this is go-to stuff. It's like your favorite food. You know, go-to, nurture yourself. Nurture yourself. And I'm honored as a caretaker that I have these books to preserve for the next generation. These first editions, in addition to multiple copies of the paperbacks. So there's really a nice distinction for you early in his career and then much later in his career. Two completely different style of books, but brilliantly realized. That is what makes Louis L'Amour, or Louis L'Amour if you prefer, the greatest writer of Westerns that ever lived and ever will live. So saith the Tom. So, anyways, I'm cracking jokes here and stuff, but I really take this seriously. These are books that have nurtured me. All right, so I don't want this episode to be too darn long. Guess what I picked up? Or actually, it came in the mail up here. Right there. Beau L'Amour took the unfinished manuscript of Skyring Water, a modern contemporary thriller. It's not a Western at all. Beau L'Amour is a superb writer himself, and you can see I just started reading it, and it's absolutely fantastic. This is going to be one of my favorite books of the year. The book has an afterword by Beau about how this came to be. You will find it fascinating. I don't think Beau's going to, make a career of putting out posthumous collaborations with his father. This is the second or third one he's done, and he can write a book on his own, and I'll buy it. So, Beau, if you're listening, you put your name on it. You write it by yourself. I'm going to buy it because I know you're good. And here's the evidence. This is mostly his work, from what I understand from reading the afterword, taken from an unfinished manuscript by his father. And then this is a long, great book. I just started it. So what page am I on? I am on page 79. And I'm telling you, this is great. This will be one of the books of the year. So there you have my tribute, short though it may be, to the great Louis L'Amour. And with a nod to Beau L'Amour, I probably emailed him only 3 times in my life. He's answered every one of them. And thank you, Beau, for doing this. Thank you for your long-distance kindness to us fans of your father and of you. I am your fan as well. All right, for you people out there, if you get a chance, hunt down those episodes about my Andre Norton episode, which is a few months ago, talks about the nurturing power of books. That's very important. They sustain us like films, great films and great books. The creative arts do that. They nurture us and they sustain us during difficult times. And I hope, however, none of you watching this are having difficult times. I hope you're all well. I hope you're happy. I hope you're breathing in the fresh air somewhere if you can get out of the city. I want to thank all of you guys, regular guys that comment on my channel, even my backwoods videos, if you want to call them that, or my fishing videos or whatever. I know they are not popular, and I know that's not why you guys are here. But as I have said many times, I run this channel my way, and not the way other people want me to. Lots of great booktubers out there. I have lists, and if I've mentioned multiple times who they are, you should go watch their channels. In the meantime, my utmost wish for all of you today, my friends, is to stay well, read a book, stay happy, feed your brains. I'll see you along the dusty trail when I'm done fishing.